This is Lady Myya. I am here again, you guys, for the Literary Summit. Okay, so I do have some beautiful women with me today so that we can just kind of go over the speakers of the Literary Summit that have everything to say to help us in a way that is going to benefit us in the long run. We do appreciate that. Hey, it's nothing like having someone in your corner, correct? I know that is right. So we're just gonna get started with Miss Michelle. She can tell us who she is, what she does, and what does she speak about most.
All right. My name is Michelle Vann. I'm from Wichita, Kansas. We are the south part. This is not Kansas City, but we're in the southern part of Kansas. I am an educator. I am a teacher. I'm a pastor's wife. I am a confidence coach. I have a nonprofit called Sisters Can We Talk, where we talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. I do a live show called Live with Michelle Vann. And so that's kind of what I do. And as we are, looking at the collaboration, my part is serving your community. And so I was looking at some quotes, and there was a quote by Idowu Kanuku, and he said, "He who masters the power formed by a group of people working together has within his grasp one of the greatest powers known to man." And when we think about the collective and us being able to come together, is this whole collaboration, the whole ideal of sheroes, that is just so powerful. And us coming together and writing together and getting this synergy and just being able to come and to share and to be able to minister to people through our chapters. It's just been a powerful experience, and it makes me think about Ephesians 4:16. It just talks about how the body is fitly joined together. Your eyes don't do what your feet do, your hands don't do, but when we come together and we are in our purpose and we are in our power and we're doing what we're called to do, it is so magical. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk a little bit about the power of community. I'm involved in so many things in my community, and it is important for us as the body of Christ to be seen in the neighborhood, not just in our churches, not in our four walls, but we got to get out there and we have to mix it up. And so that's really what we're going to talk about is community.
Yes, I love it. I love that. That is awesome. I mean, we all need to, be empowered and like you said, all of us combined, we can just be that powerhouse, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely awesome. Okay, appreciate you there. All righty. So, LaShira, please.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello,
My name is
beloved.
Sheera Lee. Most people know me as Read You Later on Twitter and Instagram. I'm passionate about literacy and encouraging everyone to take part in the literacy experience. I have authored 2 books. I have a Think Positive journal. I also have a devotional, Don't Forget to Shine, for sisters who forget to put themselves first. For years, I had a blog talk radio show, of course, titled Read You Later, but I have now transitioned from Blog Talk to Anchor and iHeart and Spotify, so it's Cool Conversations. If anyone is listening, you can download my episodes with William Paul Young, Brenda Jackson, Kimberly Lawson Roba, Nisa Short, and a few other people. And my purpose for the Literacy Summit is to talk about networking and marketing and being positive. But I also think that it's very imperative to be ethical in what you're doing and how you're bringing people together and being of your word, but also being conscientious of other people and their struggles. So I am a networker. I'm a talker. I love to embrace people and bring people together. And I think at this point, it's so imperative that even though we are in isolation and in some regards we're apart, that we always remain part of the community, to check on your sister, to check on your brother, to say uplifting things, because it's so easy, especially in some of this toxic political environment that we see, that we can easily get caught up. but we have to remember our faith. We have to remember who we are and who we serve foremost, and be very mindful of what we say and what we do in our actions, because all of our actions have reactions, be it negative or positive. So so I'm going to probably, I'm going to talk about a little bit of everything, but I'm all for positivity, and I am so excited to be a part of this. And thank you for bringing us on your show tonight.
Well, you are quite welcome. It is really my pleasure. So certainly, I appreciate you being here. Certainly. So Miss Tisha, what's going on, dear heart?
Hey everybody, so I am Tisha Waddell, and I do live in the phenomenal state of North Carolina. I'm based out of Fayetteville. I am, when people say, what do you do? I do whatever my hands find to do, and whatever the Lord guides me to do. And in this season, I'm serving as an elected official in my city. I am also a business owner. I have a consultation company that teaches other people how to start and grow their own business. And I also work a lot with nonprofit organizations. I am an author. I penned and published my first book, and it is called Broken to Blended. And it is a phenomenal resource for anybody who is dealing with petty parenting. It really kind of walks you through how to be the bigger person, and how to find peace in the midst of what may be a very tumultuous situation. Talks about child support, talks about visitation, talks about dating, and just gives a lot of jewels and practical application on how to do those things in light of being a part of a very non-traditional family structure. I am going to be talking during this summit about literary legacy. And when the topic came, I was like, okay, Father, well, what are we going to do with this? And just as quickly as I asked the question, I got the answer. You know, a lot of people wonder what will be left of me when I leave this earth. You know, I'm fortunate. I've got, you know, 2 beautiful daughters, and so I know if I were to depart, you know, tomorrow, that there's a piece of me that's still here. But not everybody has that, and some people want to know, you know, well, what are the pieces of me that will remain, that people will, you know, be able to look back and know that I was here. And so I think that if you are having that dialogue with yourself, you most certainly want to tune in and hear what we have to talk about when it comes to literary legacy. I am extremely excited to be a part of this diverse group of people. I think that while we may all look similarly, and it's funny because we all share some commonalities even in the way we look, but while we may look similarly, we all have such diverse backgrounds, and we are sure to bring so much to the table. And I think, you know, somebody else touched on the very tumultuous time that we're in. And I believe that because we're there are so many people that are just hungry to be able to grab hold of some stability and to be able to hear. And one of the things that I love about writers is that we tend to peel back the layers and let you see the parts that the general population doesn't like to show. And we take great pleasure in doing that, because we know that, you know, there's healing in it for us, but also for the people that pick up what we write. And so I'm so excited for this, because I just can only imagine what's in store for all of the people who participate in this literary summit. Yes.
I've had that very thing happen to me. So
Sometime,
yes,
you know.
But you know what? I think you guys have, like you said, a commonality with what you guys are doing, and like just knowing the jobs that you have, they're so impactful, you know, and how all 3 of you have just kind of like even that, I still want to reach out. I'm still willing and able to reach out to so many more people, and whatever I can do to do so, or get myself out there for that person that I need to, you know, be able to speak to. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm like, I'm just like dumbfounded by the power that's on this whole platform right now, because I'm like, these women are doing things, you know. I'm pretty sure home life it's got to be interesting, especially with, the jobs that you have and the responsibilities and different things like that. And I'm like, I can only imagine, but the strength, that I see in all of you. I mean, I think it's just a blessing because, what, if y'all could touch on maybe just a smidge of yourself as to what made you get to this point that you felt like you needed to do something like this. If we can start with Miss Michelle.
You're talking about being a part of the collaboration.
Yes, and you're speaking. Mm-hmm.
So I was introduced to Anissa a little while ago, and maybe last year, and we kind of had some common friends. And as I really started to, she started to kind of share what the mission was and the legacy, and just really being able to, because we're working on the anthology, and so I'm actually working in 2 anthologies right now. So the one with Anissa, where we're talking about the Sheeras, and then I'm also working on a daily dose of declarations, which is 365 days of giving a declaration for people that prevent suicide. And so it's really, as I started thinking about, ways in which we become impactful and being able to spread our message further and wider by having so many women be a part of these anthologies, it gives us a wider spread into places and into lives that we would never be able to touch because we don't even know circles. So all of us have a sphere of influence. And so being able to be a part of an anthology gives us that ability to be able to spread out into areas that we would never be able to reach. But because of the power of our collective, we're able to see and to touch the hearts and minds of people that we wouldn't have that ability to do otherwise.
Miss Tisha.
So for me, participation in this collaboration just was a natural fit. I love to share my story. I am just such a regular person with so many regular experiences, but such an irregular way of being able to approach them, that I think that and I have so much joy. So I think a person like me, when I'm traveling through my day and I'm seeing people who have they're dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with, but they have such a different response to it, and I see how life is for them versus how it's going for me, and it just made me want to be like, I can tell you how to make it and not be so wound up, and not to say that it's perfect, but like just let me give you what God has given me. And so when this platform popped up, I was like, why not? There's so many opportunities that are at our fingertips right now. I don't even have to leave my house. Why not? Like, I'm going to be able to have this dialogue and as Michelle said, touch all of these different women and the one guy, everybody's circle. And I'm going to be able to push this message forward that God put in me. And I don't even have to leave my house. This is it. This is it. And I'm hoping that because I don't have to leave and because other people don't have to leave, it will make more people tune in to us so that they don't miss this opportunity, because you don't even have to leave your house. Log into your computer and just, hang out with us. And so I thought, what greater thing to do on the 17th of October. And also the other thing was, I really admired the women that I saw stepping up to participate. And like you said, there's such power on this platform. And I'm telling you, I look at me and I'm like, I pale in comparison to these women. And I think that if you are the brightest bulb in the lights in the room, you need to go into a different room. And so this is an opportunity for me to really step it up, because I have to be able to make sure that I am operating on the same level as these women that surround me. And so it's a call to go higher for me. And so thank you, Sheera, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Lady Myya, and thank you, Anissa, and thank you, to our sister who's not on, Dr. Tracy Lashley. Thank you to all of you for calling me up higher. So that's why.
No, certainly, certainly. You know what? I think, you guys had to, in some way, kind of magnetically attract, because of the like-mindedness and different things like that. LaShera,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
I am a grandma's baby. My grandmother always instilled in us that you can't be blessed with both hands closed. So, I don't know everything, but I do know some things. And I think that often what you have endured, and sometimes when people look at things you've endured, everything is not negative. I made a post this week that I'm no longer saying trials and tribulations, because I am expecting greatness and miracles and things to occur. We're looking at 2020 in one way, and and the Lord pressed on me to look at it a different lens. And so I want to instill that. When I was first asked to be a part of this awesome summit with these dynamic women, I was thinking in one vein. I was thinking all about literature and literacy, but now I'm impressed on uplifting and inspiration and motivation, because as I said earlier, our words carry so much weight and power. And so I feel like it's my call to uplift and motivate, to get that person not only perhaps in publishing to a different level, but also mentally, the growth mindset to feel positive, because there's so many negative images that have been thrown our way. So, it's my goal to uplift and inspire, but I'm also anxious to learn from these dynamic women that are also on this panel. I am excited.
Yes,
But
definitely.
the thing about it is that really just makes me excited is that there's always that misnomer out there that Black women can't get together and we can't work together and we can't, that we always have to be catty and we always have to be at each other's throat. This right here proves that that's not true. That we can come together, nobody asked anybody to turn down their light. Nobody said, girl, turn your light down because it's too shiny. Everybody has the ability to turn your light up as bright as you want to make it, and we still gonna do it all together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I love that. I think it's just, I'm finding now, more so than ever, that I've gotten the chance and the opportunity to find a lot more Black women. And this one woman told me, she said, if you're too busy, you ain't got time for the cattiness. If you are doing what you're supposed to do, you don't have time for it. And that, I believe that's true. Sometimes we get bored with our lives, so we have to find the drama, something to entertain us. And I just think that's not all true. For the people, the people that are doing something, they don't even have time to find out what everybody else is doing or what their business is, because that's not our business. I got enough business. I got enough things on my plate. So now you don't, they can talk about you all they want. You still will never hear it because you're busy enough to kind of just be on your own. I'm going forward. I don't have time to look to the left or the right. I have to do what I have to do. And like she said, I'm called, called to do something, and you can't be messy. Let's not do that. Don't be messy. But certainly, I think it's just a phenomenal thing, especially with, the strength that is on this call. It's just like, wow, it's wow. And it's like, I only hope, that someone can take away something from this union and this call right now, because it's needed. It really is. More often than not, and a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to be that busy. I don't want to be that busy. Why not? You have no reason not to be. And you could be helping someone else that in turn will later help you. So I don't know. But if y'all want to chime in on anything, the floor is yours.
So I do want to say that I think that I love what Michelle said about the nature of the preconception, the misconception of Black women. And I told somebody this the other day. I was on a radio show, and my cousin was interviewing me. And y'all, whenever your family interviews you, you tend to be very relaxed. You say things that you probably wouldn't say to anybody else. But I told him, and I was grateful for this conversation, but I told him, I said, you know, people think that we don't support each other, but I find that we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. And that I said, I think that they get that misconception from the fact that we don't do a bunch of he in public. You know, we tend to be very serious, and we tend to be about the business that's at hand. But when we get behind closed doors, and when the time is right, we tend to be each other's cheerleader. We'll stop and go behind closed doors and give you a hug and tell you, get your face together, and, you know, pull it together and get back out there and do what you know you got to do, and put your big girl panties on. And, you know, we'll when if everybody else is against you, we'll sit beside you and look at everybody like this and dare them to mess with you. And I think that's one of the things that gives us such strength, is because we know when everybody else may be against us. And I told the person, I said, you know, I find, because they asked me, do you feel like Black women are disrespected? I said, by everybody but Black women. Mm-hmm. By everybody but Black women. And I said, now that's a generalization, and I'll say that even now, that's a generalization, because there's some sisters that will disrespect us, and there's some brothers that will make sure that people don't. But we, for the most part, because we share so much in common, we share. I bet you if I picked up and read a chapter in each one of your books, I would be able to relate. I'd find something in that reminded me of my life. Right. And so I just think, how can we not be successful when we do something like this and we put our resources together and we say, let's fly? How can we not be successful?
Yes. We can always be successful. It's just sometimes I think for the most part we tend to hear what too many people say, and that just kind of diverts our attention to elsewhere, and then it's just like we can't even focus on what we are doing because we're so worried about that. But at the same time, I think by the women that I'm talking to right now, however, I'm just going to say, we don't even do that. Like, we make sure, like, look, you trying to do this, I got you. You know what? I know somebody else that's doing the same thing. Maybe you can elaborate with them. We can have a chat. Let's get some coffee. Let's do something, you know, and the collaborations. And I love when Michelle was saying she was doing the collaborations with the books and different things like that. So I know that things can happen. And so what you saying, like, yeah, you gotta be that other person's cheerleader too. Like, who else is gonna be in your corner if you can't cheerlead for them now? So I mean, I think it's really, really important that we, you know, like she said, bind it together, you know, that 5 fingers, you know, or the 5 parts of the body. We need to just kind of come together because we can all work in unison if we only allow it to happen. So I think that is super important, super important. But
I mean, there's power in our network. I mean, the network that we have, there is power in it. You know, I may not know, I have met Tisha, you know, before physically, you know, I probably could have picked her out, but because there is that network, because there is that synergy, because Anissa prayed before she chose the people that she wanted to choose, we didn't know each other physically, but we knew each other in the spirit. And so when we were able to come together, so we might not have ever seen each other, but she my girl. What you need, girl? I got you. Right. You know, at the end of the day, you know, lady, I don't know you, girl, but what you need? What do you need? Yeah. That is the power of our network. And if we will use that network, and if we'll use it, you know, we will use our discernment, and we will just, you know, begin to say, God, what is it that you want us to do? Yes. And if we understand that purpose, if we understand our call, if we walk in our call, we can go in and we can pull each other together, and we can say, just like she was saying, you know, girl, pull up, you know, you just pick her up any day. Come on, girl, I got you. Come on, push, you know, and push our sister out there, and you know, but know that your butt is not uncovered. Because I got you, girl. I will not let you go out there with your behind out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I got you. What do you need? How can I help you? I may not have it, but I'm going to find somebody that can get it. And that's the power of our network. What you don't know, I probably know somebody that can do that. Or, I can find somebody that can help you do that so that we can make sure that we are doing the best that we can. She said, she's talking about legacy, but it's our children. That's the ones we got to worry about. We got to worry about this next generation. What we going to do, what we teaching them, what we showing them. Because this mess we got on TV, come on now.
Yeah.
The stereotypes that we're giving our babies, come on now.
And
I'm gonna tell you. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'm gonna tell you what's interesting. Even while she was saying like we're gonna cheer you forward, I'm sitting here and I know that our sister Sheera is picking up her child, and I am so like I'm all excited. I want to know do you have him yet?
No,
In the car.
but the plan has
I
arrived.
heard y'all screaming.
Good. You sure?
I think her bandwidth is low because they're driving.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Well,
Now, Lady Myya, you didn't tell us about you. We told you about us, but you didn't give us a little bit of your story.
Right.
How dare I? Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Oh my God. Well, I am just a loudmouth, if I'm being truthful. If I'm being truthful. So I have a podcast, of course, the radio show, Your Free Will. And then I am just starting on a TV show and just got inducted into a board that is heading the TV show. So I was just like, oh, well, all right, let's do this. So it's a very interesting thing, but I love Anissa. That girl has been calling me for a month. And I'm like, I got you. Give me a sec. Let me get it together. It's okay, but I love her and what she wanted to do and how she speaks. It's just phenomenal. We both are in a group that meets every Tuesday and Thursday of every week, and you talking about empowerment. You mean to tell me?
It's really cool.
But okay, so with the summit, what are we hoping to get the people to understand about our talk?
So for me, I'm trying to get them to understand that there is power in community. And so what our community looks like may be very different, and in every season of our lives, our communities kind of change, It might be the people on your block, but it might be sisters that, especially in a world of technology now, I can have sisterhood and I can have, this community of women that don't even live in the same state, that don't even live in the same country. Because of technology, I can have a community that doesn't necessarily live around the corner, and we can still meet. We can still, we're all in different places, but we feel like we're together. We feel, it feels that energy is still there. You get excited and you're like, oh, I want to know some more. And so it's just that as we feel that power of community, we can begin to pull together. And I think as women, again, we have to have that. You were saying, needing that Tuesday, Thursday time. I think that when we can build community, you should be excited and ready. You're like, woo, today is the day we gonna meet. I can't wait. Woo, let me get my good, whatever it is. Let me get my good popcorn because we about to meet.
Yes.
And so to me, that's the power of our community. That's the power of the synergy that we get when we have community.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, it's just understanding that words matter. Words matter, and they can build. You can literally build an empire off of words. And, I just think that I want people to walk away understanding the impact of that, and that your experiences can be translated into a medium that can last for generations for other people to be able to experience. And I just, I think that if people really get the gravity of that, it will be so powerful for them. And I want people to know, because one of the things, like when the Bible tells us that in Jeremiah to write the vision and make it plain. Oftentimes people think that they interpret that to mean write down what you want and make it plain. But the reality of that scripture was God was downloading something. And he said, I want you to take what I'm downloading into you, and I want you to write it out so that the people who come behind you know the path. And so I just want to make sure that people understand that, you know, it's not rocket science. Just write down what's in you. Just write what's in you. So I'm just, you know, I'm eager to, and I don't know what, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't know what the talk looks like yet, because usually God doesn't give it to me until like the day before or very early in the morning. Right. So I don't know what.
Jesus.
If I wrote something today, it would not at all be what I got to talk about on the 17th. It would just be some good words. But, you know, I'm excited to see what comes. I'm just, y'all, there's this bubbling anticipation inside of me.
Yeah.
Just a bubbling anticipation. And I didn't write a book not to sell it. And so another function of what I expect that we'll all get from this is that we'll have a platform to sell our work. Yes. That we will actually be able to get a tangible benefit, a financial benefit for the work that we've put into writing these pieces. And so, you know, like, I'm really trying to make sure that people know, come on, y'all. Invest this time, because I want you to hear who's here, because you need this book. And even if you're not going to read it this week, buy it and read it next week, buy it and read it next month. But buy these books, support these women, support their work, so that they can continue to do what God has called them to do.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm excited. Okay. What's the name of the book? You trying to pull a sister's arm. I mean, come on. What's the name of the book?
So my book is called Broken to Blended. And it is actually a workbook. And I want to very quickly, because I don't know if I'll share this the day of the summit, but I had a best friend who was like a sister to me. And she wanted me to do this devotion with her. And so she ordered the devotion because she was going through cancer and she just needed something to give her a lift. So she ordered this devotion and she was like, do this with me. I think we made it through like 2 of the devotions, and it's a book full of them. I think we made it through 2 of them. She got very, very sick and she passed away. But what God showed me was she actually gifted me the next part of my vision that he had for me, because what he told me to do was to take that devotion. It was a workbook devotion. Take that and pattern a book for women in blended families, for them to have, you know, sessions with themselves to work through. And so every time I think about the fact that I've actually completed it, took me 4.5 years to finish this book. But every time I think about that, I just think of how one person will plant a seed and not even know it, and it will sprout into this giant oak. And so Broken to Blended, if you are the product of a blended family, if you have baby mama drama, baby daddy dilemmas, this is the book to put your hands on, and it is godly information. It's not that worldly counsel. It is godly information. It's that turn the other cheek so that you can live an abundant life kind of information. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I'll show you one of my, you can't really see it because of my background, but I have a devotional called Help Along the Journey, and then I have another book that's called Stop the Merry-Go-Round, I Want to Get Off. A lot of times women, for most of us, we get on this merry-go-round and we get mesmerized by the music, and we get mesmerized by the fact that we're going up and down, but we're really not going anyplace. And so we kind of took, before we got started, we were talking about being busy, and sometimes we can be so busy being busy, we ain't doing nothing. And so God really just began to I had an experience where I was teaching 8th grade, and I had my students, and they were working on their vision plans for that year. And I had a kid that, you know, usually never talked. He usually slept all the time. And he was awake this day, and he was all spry. And he was like, so what you gonna do with your life? Little boy, who you talking to? Who are you talking to? I got 2 degrees, because I did have my doctorate at that time. I got 2 degrees. What you talking about, little boy? And but it messed me up, And I was just like, yeah, what am I going to do with my life? Am I supposed to be teaching 8th grade for the rest of my life? Is this really all there is to life? And so I really went on this journey, and which is why the help along the journey. So there was this devotional that developed out of that. But then there was just this whole piece of, I got to stop the merry-go-round and get off. I can continue to go around this loop-de-loop over and over and over again, or I can stop and I can really start to figure out a plan. I mean, just like what you were saying, that's why I have a t-shirt, because it was really about trying to figure out a plan as to what I was going to do. I mean, I was 40, and what was I going to do with the rest of my life? Was this all there was to my life? And so those are the 2 books that I have done already. I'm working on, I told you earlier that I'm working with two anthologies, but I'm also writing a series of books that are going to be Clutching My Pearls. And so the first pearl is going to be the pearl of confidence. So God is really bringing me into this place of being a confidence coach, mainly because he's trying to teach me how to have confidence myself. And so he's teaching me, and while he's teaching me, he's asking me to instruct other people. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll release that Pearls of Confidence.
Wow.
Wait.
So an 8th grader planted your seed.
Girl. I should go find him and tell him, you know what, you helped me out.
Thank you. Wow.
That is too funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Because them kids out of the mouths big sometimes.
And see, and I was that kind of teacher, like we would be, like doing, whatever. There was nothing that we couldn't talk about. And I was just like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
know what he was saying,
I was thinking about that the whole rest of the day. I spent the rest of that school year trying to figure my life.
Oh, that is too funny. Oh my gosh. Do you hug on him now and be like, look, baby,
Right. I don't even know where he's at now. But
oh, that is sweet though. Okay. I'm really, really intrigued from the both of you. Well, actually, all of you, actually. Because I haven't spoken to Tracy, but yet and still, I do want to give you an invite to be on my shows. And so this is going to be, I love this. I really do. Like the way y'all talk, oh my goodness. I'm like, I need them in my circle. What is happening here?
I know.
Like,
We're here. We're here.
I know. You're in your circle now. That's the thing. You can't get rid of us now.
Look at her. Like, I don't want to get rid of nobody. I clutch on to people. I'll be like, hey, what you doing? What you doing? Like, Myya, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I know, but
No, you will go to voicemail if you call me at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Girl.
But you're going to get all the energy from that voicemail because I'm going to be up and at them.
I love
Because
that.
my kids quickly learned how they got my phone. I ran for Senate, and so my kids they figured out how to put my phone on Do Not Disturb so that I only had calls from here to here. So yeah, you can call if you want to.
It's like, no, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's all good. But I think it's so important because it's like, okay, you guys, like you were saying, like, hey, I haven't met you in person, but I just feel such a connection because, like, y'all some strong women. And I'm like, yes, we need this. Like, why don't, man, if we could jar this thing and sell it.
Right.
No, when we jar this thing and sell it.
When?
Not all our money.
They want all of this. The world wants all of this. They want to see, it's other brown girls that look like us that want to see us laughing and talking and sharing our experiences. Yeah. They want this, but we just haven't yet been given the proper platform, which is why we created. So it's like now we have Zoom, we got our own TV show. Here we are. Yeah, here we are. And I think, we, like my prayer coming from this tonight, and this is what I feel tonight. Father, open doors from this. Like, let the right people see this at the right time in the right way and open doors. Because it's something on the other side of this conversation for everybody that's participating in this.
Right.
So I just want, Satan get out the way and Father open the door so we can go where we
Come on,
gotta
speak
go.
that word.
Hey, it's called your free will. So there you go.
That's
Have
right.
your way,
Have
Lord.
at it.
That's
It's your
right.
free will.
That's right.
I love that because, like, okay, a lot of times I get frustrated with the little churchy stuff, or whatever. And every now and again, I'm like, okay, I know that. I know in what aspect that's supposed to be in, but now you're, doing something totally different with, verses. And so that kind of just made me like, okay, I need to see what the people are saying, about this specific thing. Now, everybody, it's called the living word for a reason. Everybody's going to get something different or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, what is your free will? And that was the whole purpose of the show, because I was just like, I just need to know what you believe, and what do you feel like on the inside, when it comes to, your spiritual growth, or, your spirituality, or maybe lack of, and different things like that way. But
I think it has to go from religion to relationship.
Relationship,
And
yeah.
so I think the problem with a lot of people that get stuck in religion,
yeah,
my uncle was on the board of bishops. My father was a pastor. My husband is a pastor. I'm a minister. I mean, so I get that. I mean, probably one of the most jaded people when it comes to church, because I've seen the backside of it.
Yes.
And so I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen the people that you help the most, that talk about you the hardest, and call you everything but a child of God. And you still have to be nice to them, and you still have to try to all of that. All of that. And so I think that the biggest thing that we have, the biggest problem, is that people go into it with religion. People go into it with all of these traditions. People go into it with this box, and you have to fit in this box.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't fit in the box
At all.
I broke the box, and
I got rid of it.
I get in trouble because I do what I need to do. I say what I need to say, and I'm not disrespectful. But it's not about religion. It's about relationship. Because if I get a good relationship with my Father, okay, with my Father, if I have a relationship with my Father, He's going to tell me and teach me all things.
Yeah.
So whatever is right, He's going to show me. Whatever is wrong, He's going to show me. If I get in His space, I had to do chapel yesterday, and I was just admonishing our kids that, in this season, there's this guy named Pastor Mike, and he has this song, and it's just like, it's going to be big. It's my season to do big things, to do awesome things. And that was prophesied at the very beginning of the year. And then we have this pandemic, and you're like, well, what the heck, God? You said that it's going to be big. And I've been sitting at home for 6 months. How the heck is this big? But, then this comes up. And so there's just things that have happened. And we're like, but because I wasn't so stuck in religion, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter what church you go to. It doesn't matter, how you practice that. It's just a matter of that you have relationship with the true and living God. And so when you get that, when you get relationship, you can get all that other stuff together. I don't care whether you wear pants or don't wear pants. I don't care whether you wear a skirt or don't wear a skirt. All that stuff is just stuff that gets us caught up, and it's one of those things that makes us be able to say, well, you don't look like I look, so you can't be part of my group. I don't care what you look like. Bring your behind on in here. I mean, and our people will tell you right now, people that come to our church, I'll tell you, I don't care what you got on, long as your boobs and your butt is covered. I don't care.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, when God gets in you enough, He will deal with you, and then
He will change.
It's no big deal. Because here's the thing. When I change because of your rules, and I change because of the things you say, I will do it as long as I'm in your presence. But when I get out of your presence, I'm going to do what I want to do. So why am I going to make you lie?
That's right.
I just don't believe in it. I don't believe that I should make you lie. I'm just going to tell you, pray about it, and what did God say?
That's right.
What did God say?
That's
If
right.
you have a relationship with him, if he's your father and you love him and you're praying and you're listening and you're hearing and you're being obedient,
Yes.
and you're being obedient and you're being obedient,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a problem.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right.
And you don't have to worry about religion.
That's right. And don't you bow your knee to a dead God, because we are in a season right now, and I'm not saying that just for your benefit, for anybody that might hear this. Don't bow your knee to a dead God, because we're in a season right now where it's a lot of people who don't even realize, and I'm talking about people that's sitting in churches, they don't even realize that they are on their way to hell.
Come on now.
Because they have begun to bow their knee to a dead God. They're bowing to society. They're bowing to political party. They're bowing to racial division. They're bowing to all of these things that God never called us to serve. He never called us to even be a part of those systems. When it comes to politics, he told us, you asked for a king, now you're going to get one. And here's what this king is going to do to you. He laid it all out. But we tend to think that now we are supposed to be, because the world is doing it, we're supposed to be so focused on that. And no, because like my sister Michelle said, we are called to have a relationship with him. Yeah. So like when all of these things started popping off, and let me say this before I say what I'm going to say, my life does matter. As a Black woman, my life does matter. But see, I don't have to subscribe to a movement, because I recognize I've known a long time my life has mattered, because somebody loved me so much before I was even here. They died for me. Yeah. That means I matter. And so, you know, we have to begin to ascribe these characteristics that we want the world to give us. We got to go to him. So I hope that even as you go through this journey of free will, that you begin to understand all the more why God gave it to you. Because would you ever want to be with a man that loved you because you made him love you? You wouldn't. You'd look at him and you'd think, you'd be like, well, are you really with me because you want to be? And it's the same thing with God. He doesn't want us to be with him because we have no choice. He wants us to choose him. He wants us that same way we want a man to, well, I'm going to speak for me. The same way that I want my husband to choose me and to desire me and to want to be with me and to want to sit up in my face and talk to me and hear my voice. Father, I got goosebumps, because to think that that's what my Father wants from me. He wants me to cozy up to him. He wants me, when I have a bad day, to run to him. When I'm having a great day, to be the first person that I come and tell is for it to be him. Listen, what happened, Daddy? Like he wants that, but we give him this, like this watered down. We go to him. I told my husband, I said, did you pray about it? It was something small. My husband said, I don't pray in my work truck. I was like, why not? Right. So then I thought about it. I said, babe, you don't have to do like this. Father God, we come to you right now in the name of Jesus. I said, you could just ask him. I was like, you could just go, well, Lord, what you want me to do? That's prayer. Right. Just a conversation. Right. Just that conversation. And people think I'm nuts, because sometimes I'll be in my car literally having a whole conversation by myself with my daddy. But that's it. That's the relationship. And Lady Myya, I want it more and more, but I think that it's that free will when you fall in love with somebody because you want to. Yeah. Not because somebody told you you have to. Yeah. Not because they say you have to, because you don't have to. You don't have to.
It's always a choice.
It's a choice.
That's why it says it's free will.
Free will.
It's a choice.
Satan is a copycat, okay? And see, this is when I learned that he was a copycat. When I started looking at, and when I learned for myself, when I started looking at music and the way that people gravitate to music and the way that music influences culture and influences, because see, that was always the original purpose of music. But Satan took what God made, he copied it, and he distorted it, which is the same thing that these false religions do. They take what God made, because God told us to honor the temple. He was the first entity to tell us, honor our temple. He also told us to pray without ceasing. But see, what these other religions do is they take what God made good, and then they twist it just a little bit to pervert it because it still looks good, right? But it becomes not good for you because one of the things, and I ain't trying to preach, but I gotta tell you this.
Well, you gotta
one of the things that I learned about meditation is, do you remember the scripture in the Bible where it said that when the devils were cast out of a person and it was an empty space, that they would come back looking to see if it had been filled with something, okay?
Right.
See, what meditation does is it tells you empty yourself. It tells you to empty yourself out and to clear your mind, and just focus on essentially nothingness. And what that allows for is it allows your temple to become empty so that whatever they want to put in you has space to get in, right? But what prayer does is it calls you to focus your attention on your creator. It causes you to have a singular point of focus and to be so insistent of being in front of that creator that you begin to be filled with what he has for you. And so all of those things, they sound great, just like, you know, and like when the people do the yoga and they sit and, you know, they're doing all of that. It sounds great. It sounds so relaxing and so just fabulous. But the reality is dangerous because a person whose mind is not focused on the creator is focusing on the creation, and they're being filled with all kind of stuff that they don't have. You can't discern sometimes the danger. You can't discern the danger. But I'm telling you, I believe we probably all had some things that we looked to at one point or another where we had to go, okay, this might not be, like some of us did astrology, some of us did, you know, numerology, because it all makes sense. It makes sense. Like if I read my horoscope today, I'd be like, that's me, that makes sense. But it's the thievery of it. It's the thievery of it. You know what I'm saying? Just like go ahead.
But if you think about prophecy, I mean, when you look at a prophecy, you know, it's just a matter of where you're getting the word from.
Getting it. That's right.
So it's a matter of whether it's a word from God or whether it's a word from the enemy. Because a person that's reading astrology, reading your cards. I had a kid in my first grade class when I taught first grade. He freaked out one day when they were singing a song about a Negro spiritual, and he freaked out. And he was like, "The spirits are mean. The spirits are ugly. The spirits are bad." And the person that was teaching music was a minister of music at a church. And she was like, "Girl, he freaked out. What's wrong with him?" So I called his mom. I said, "Girl, what's wrong with him?"
What's up?
She said, "Oh, well, girl, I read tarot cards and, you know, I do fortunes and, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, girl, I'm good at it." And I was like, okay. Probably the only time I've ever been speechless in my life. And I was just like, okay. She just told me she's a witch. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Bye. I'm glad you like me. But she said, things have manifested, and he's seen things, and he's been in rooms where stuff has happened. So yes, he does have a bad experience. But the things that happen on the dark side are just as equally on the light side, on the side of God. And so that's where we have to be careful, because everything, and I do agree, everything that that God does and has done is mimicked on the other side. And so, when we start to look at those things, some of these books that have made millions and gabillions of dollars, if you go back and look at it, all they did was take a scripture and then they said, "This is the ideal. This will make your mind, The Bible talks about meditation. It says meditate on His word day and night.
On His word, that's right.
So it's not that we can't meditate; it's what you meditate
on. Yes.
I can do all of the things that are required in a yoga, but I'm not. It's what am I saying? What am I chanting? What am I? And so I think sometimes we make everything spooky. And we make everything so, everything's a devil. No, it's not. But it can be if we allow, because the pendulum swings both ways. Yeah. And so if we allow it to swing too far to the left, then we can have that issue. But everything's not the devil. Everything's not bad.
That was my mama.
Yeah, it's just
I think that was most of the people back in the day. Yeah.
Where is our mindset? And I think that's the evolution that we've come to, that everything's not the devil. Yeah. But it's when what I choose to meditate on. What am I choosing to spend my time on? What am I choosing to, what company am I choosing to keep? It's that. And when I can when I can truly, but again, it goes back to relationship. When I truly have a relationship with my Father, I will know unfamiliar spirits.
Yes.
I will know, because it's the scripture tells us to try the spirit by the spirit.
By the spirit
of God. So if I understand and I have had an experience with the Spirit of God, when I get around an unfamiliar spirit, I will go, that ain't Jesus. Got to go.
Yes. Nothing about that is Jesus.
That ain't God.
That's good. That's so good.
I think, okay, so the reason why I had decided to do that, because I've studied pretty much every denomination and religion except witchcraft. Like that was just way too far for me. But I kind of went into a lot of other ones, and I kind of nitpicked. So I had a buffet, and I was just like, okay, well, I've read the Bible and I like that. Okay, and I read the Bible and I like this. Okay, and I like that. And so I guess for me, not that I will like take on the whole religion or anything, but what I will do is this, like y'all was saying about the meditation. I'll do it in my own way. I won't do it the way that they say do it, because I'm not praying to a dang elephant. That's just not happening. But I'm just saying, I'll just kind of do it in my own way. Like, I will, this is why I get up so super early in the morning, because I'm constantly talking to God. And that's my meditation, and like y'all was saying, like, it's just the way you do it. And I love that. And at the same time, like, I guess because of the fact that we don't push so much on the temple situation, like, yes, it's in the Bible, but do we do that? So now I'm eating healthier. I'm doing things to, religiously for myself to be, purified in that way. So
I just say that, like the old mothers used to say, when you eat from too many tables, you get sick. Just be careful.
They did say that, didn't they? They did say that. They did.
That is too crazy.
Huh.
Okay, now I got you. You got me. We'll get y'all back on here.
Oh, speaking of which, October 17th. The summit is October 17th. Yeah. Right, and you can find information. Michelle, do you have what's your Facebook?
My Facebook is Fantastic Solutions.
And mine is, I don't know, but let me look real quick. It is Tisha S. Waddell, brand builder and life blogger. That's a lot, but if you just type in Tisha S. Waddell, it'll pop up. It's a picture of me with my arms like this. That is my page, and you can find the information. And I'm gonna give you, even though she's not on here right now, we had Tracy and her information. Her name is Dr. Tracy. She is Dr. Dr. Tracy, Tracie, all together. Hines, Hine, Lashley, Lashley. And then we also had on the line Sheera. I don't know if I have her.
Lee.
Do you have her Facebook?
Her last name is Lee.
Oh, it should be in the messages, huh?
Yeah.
Or you know what, y'all? I'm gonna make this easy. You don't even have to do all that. You can go and look up Literary Summit, and it will take you right to it. The Literary Summit. There's a Facebook page for it. It'll take you right to it. And the it's October the 17th. That's a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yep.
And we're ready for you.
Yeah.
We're not yet, but we will be.
We will be ready.
We will be.
Yes, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I need to talk to y'all. I'm like, oh my God. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how. Thank you so much for joining me, Lady Myya.
Yes.
Well, I only hope you guys truly enjoy this, because this was so real. It got real quick.
Real
So
did.
that's what we needed today, and we only hope that you have something that's definitely a takeaway, that you can take and have it as for yourself. So thank you so much for joining me, Lady Myya, with Your Free Will, and we will see you guys later.